family, you know what it is. Finally, Monday night has come back. So let's get to it. Oh yeah. Come on. And welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am your host. My name is Elemen2al. Happy Monday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We've been doing this for 192 weeks now, y'all. Can you dig it? But guess what? Here we are again, at it once again, as usual, every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams, shout out. And you'd like to join us in the Zoom, the number's on your screen, 279-995-364. Jump in, join the greatest community in the world. It is truly a different world inside the Zoom. And you will see tonight why I continue to say it's the greatest community in the world. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills, all right? So we would like to thank the Howard Gilman Foundation, the Poetry Foundation, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and Education of America for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute. Every dollar goes to help. I'm telling you, this is a legendary space for a reason, all right? It's because all of us continue to add and help and solidify this brick and mortar, all right? So any contribution is helpful. All right. Make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Ron is in the building right now, in the space. We'll talk about that in just a second. Ron is all over the place, I'm telling you. Make sure you are plugging in with the squad. Shout out C4. Listen, all these poets are amazing. Listen, if you don't know any of these poets, make sure you are plugging in. They will definitely blow your mind in different ways, 100% of the time. Elemen2al.com is where you can find me. Plug in. There are so many things going on and so many things to come. Trust and believe. There's quite a few things coming. So make sure you plug in. Tonight's theme, seasons change. Bright lights. What are you looking forward to in the season change, right? What's the point of the light that keeps you that keeps you focused, right? What does the season change mean to you, right? And what is your favorite part of the yearly change? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? You know, when that your favorite season comes around, what do you smell? What do you hear? What do you taste? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking forward to hearing this evening. However, your poem does not have to be on theme in order for you to rock this evening. We are still looking forward to hearing your incredible artistry. All right, next week's theme, y'all, coming at you. You ready? Ain't no mountain. Woo! Reaching your zenith. Ain't no mountain, right? For me, that always speaks to, you know, Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, right? Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough, right? Ain't no river wide enough. Keep me from you. Just saying, right? Yeah, I hear you. I see you. Yeah, sing that chorus. Come on, come on. Yeah, for real. That's what it does, right? And that's what I want us to focus on next week, right? There is nothing too big. There's nothing too great that poetry can't help us to reach, right? We are giving to poetry and poetry is giving back to us. So reaching our zenith is really inevitable, right? So let's talk about it. So bring your incredible artistry, your phenomenal creativity next week and come through and let's talk about it. All right, it's gonna be incredible. Listen, y'all, there's only 4 weeks left for this month, right? Only 4, including this one, right? So there's only 3 more new themes left of this year. And then we're gonna get into some brand new stuff in January, all right? So make sure you are plugged in, all right? Let's get to the rules so we can get to the poetry this evening. Poets, turn your cameras on. We are trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love to see all the beautiful exuberance that goes into your poetic delivery. All right. And I want to see if you freak out these backgrounds. All right. So please turn your cameras on so we can see all of that beautiful expression. As you're getting ready to perform, have your poem ready. All right. If you're going analog, make sure you dog ear the page. If you're going digital, have the file pulled up and ready to rock. If you're using music, which is totally cool, make sure it's original music. We don't want the agents of the interweb to interfere with our stream in any way. So make sure your music is original. All right. And if you're playing original music, which is totally cool too, original sound. All right. So original sound, original music, and we are good to go. Poets, you got 3 minutes to rock. All right. You got a 30-second intro. Let the folks know where they can find you, how they can connect with you, and 3 minutes. All right, listen, we do this, right? we hang, we do this all night long, y'all. All right, but some folks got a bedtime. All right, so please keep your poems to within 3 minutes so we can make sure that everyone gets down within a timely manner. Also, before we go on to that, make sure you are changing your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with all of your social media. We have reached night 30 for the babies, folks. I'm telling you. The founders of our cafe were major proponents on the freedom of speech, and we will make sure that it continues to flow in every vein of what we do. Therefore, there is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism, which will not, I said not, be tolerated. There is no censorship. Poetry is a living, breathing trigger warning. All right? Thou hast been warned. You're rocking with the greatest community in the world, some passionate, powerful poets who may trigger some very deep flashbacks. All right? But this is how we do. All right? Thou hast been warned. I'm telling you, this is how we do. This is a true call and response space. After you see the poets get up here and rip open a part of who they are and share it with us, you will see this pop up on your screen. This is when you get a chance to share all of that energy, all of that exuberance with the audience, with the poet. Don't worry about the noise, y'all. It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway. All right. So all of that energy that you share with us, the poets will give back to you in their poetic performance. All right. So unmute yourself and give that energy back to the space. The list tonight is closed. Sign up begins 24 hours before the show, which would be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. To sign up, you go to neweurekan.org. You click on full events calendar. You click on the Monday that you want to get down, and you need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way you're getting on the guaranteed list is with an artist RSVP ticket, which will not even populate until 24 hours before the show. All right. Also, as I mentioned earlier, going on right now is the New Eurekan Bowery Slam, right? And that is where the one and only Ron Mark Thompson is at this very moment. It is being hosted by Jay Rose this evening. Shout out Jay Rose and all the things that they do. It is incredible. It is going down. All right. Also, these people who win the Monday night will be qualifying for the Friday night slam, which will be a grand slam on Fridays, right? Once a month on Fridays, starting December 29th, hosted by La Bruja at the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, all right, in Times Square. It is going down starting on the 29th of December. So make sure you are plugging in if you're in the tri-state area. Also going on at the Lower East Side Center is the Women's Orator Wednesday, hosted by La Bruja. All right, the Lower East Side Center is on 9th Street between Avenue C and D. It's starting this Wednesday, and it will be every first Wednesday of the month. Again, hosted by La Bruja. Make sure you are plugging in. No Thursday night this week. All right, no Thursday night online this week. We will talk about that a little bit more later. Tonight's list. Look at all these beautiful names. Look at all these incredible creatives that have come to rock with us this evening. You know what? It is sure to be a phenomenal evening of poetry. So let's get to it. There's all my rowdy friends here on Monday night. Oh my goodness. It is always so great to see all of you. I look forward to this every single week. And listen, we do our best to ensure that the rest of the week knows how Monday is supposed to be, right? How you really set off the week. So let's show the rest of the world how we do it. So let's get it started. As I'm posting the list in the chat, we are going to get started this evening with our resident blacksmith. And listen, anytime I get a chance to introduce this gentleman, I know that he is going to highlight others who highlight others. This is why I love our community. This is why I say it's the greatest community in the world. The one and only Mr. Lighthouse Writers, Michael Sindler, is in the building. Let these folks know how they can find you online. It is great to see you. Come on, man. Set it off this evening. Let's go.
Okay, great. So yeah, next week, it's like reach your zenith, reach your zen, as far as I'm concerned. And I am going to start off by putting in a word for LighthouseWriters.org, which is just a fantastic organization that features classes and workshops and events and just all kinds of things that have helped me incredibly as a writer, and I think can help a lot of other people. And I also just put into the chat on the 12th, there is, I guess it's like 8 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock my time. There's going to be a wonderful tribute to Norm Maddox, otherwise known as Norm Mathematics. Some of us who really love and respect him have created a book as a celebration of Norm. And all the profits from that are going to go to Norm and his family. And he's going to be there for it. And I would really love if anybody who can just click on that link. And if Elemental, if you can be nice enough to go ahead and put that up on the YouTube link, that would be even better. So yeah, many thanks. But anybody who knows Norm knows that he's not only a fantastic artist, he's a fantastic human being as well. So I'm going to read this piece called Blues for Olympia. Just one more shotgun shack on the riverside of the Mill Village. Have to jump the train to get across Olympia Avenue. It's okay when it's going slow. Feral cats in every front yard moving in a pack at dinner time. Nancy is on the front porch eating cornflakes on the couch, laughing as the lightning bugs arrive. Shade tree mechanic wannabe has a carburetor disassembled on a blanket in the driveway. Squirrel hides a ripe pecan in a valve. That car will be on bricks for a while. The band is playing something strictly acoustic in the backyard. Song mixing with fire pit smoke, twanging blues and tangy barbecue. Tim went off to get more ice for the keg. Chameleon frozen on peeling gray wall, can't match the paint but tries its best. Pat's hands are stained from tie-dyeing t-shirts and a sheet and a blue sundress. Better job changing color than the lizard. There's no getting rid of palmetto bugs, just an attempt to reach a detente of sorts. They'll be here after the last human bites it. I think the fuckers know full well they're winning. They snort boric acid off the table like Scarface. Second floor bedroom, hot as Hades without AC. Even minus sex, the bed is soaked with sweat. Box fan fell out of the window, landed on a pup. Poor mutt ran all the way to the quarry, yelping. Little yellow hounds make a pitiful sound. Shane said he saw a rattler in the woods near the riverbank when he went fishing. His mom's glad he didn't try to bring it home. Says his curiosity is a prayer in a prison and he best keep the good sense key close at hand. Roommates rotate and relationships mutate. Some graduate or fail and some stagnate. Some end up in jail or in the grave or just insane. Nobody said it was going to get this crazy. None get out without some scars to tell the tale. And I'm just real quick going to do this one. I've done it here once before, but it's been a long time. It's called Every Time. Every time before the chorus can finish, the same scratch leaves me skipping, stuttering on the same word, the phrase I need to say. Every time, half forgotten, half hanging, waiting on a thumb to knock arm back, pop needle over and over, back in the groove. Every time, just before the word love, crackling vinyl drowns out melody and static, dust ball hanging off diamond. Every time, it still comes round to you. Okay, thank y'all very much.
You know, that needle, it does it every single time. It all comes round to you. You better believe it. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Michael Sindler.
Woo, Michael. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Yes.
Yeah, great work.
I like to call Michael Sindler our resident blacksmith because you can like hear the hammer hitting in all of his work, right? You could just hear it. You can see the sparks in it. Thank you so much, Michael Sindler, for setting us off this evening. Listen, folks, the Starship is underway, for real. And the storytellers are in the building, right? In his first poem, Blues for Olympia, he's talking about jumping the train, right? Jumping the train means something different to people depending on where they live. You know what I mean? Depending on what part of the world they live in, jumping the train means something very different. But I love the visuals that it brings, right? The texture, the sound, right? The the feeling of the trains coming down the track, right? No matter if you're outside or in the subway, the feeling of the trains coming down the tracks are the same, right? Feral cats moving in packs at dinner time, love it. The lightning bugs, right? Something about that. It's something about that. If you've ever been in a place where the lightning bugs come out, it really is something about that. Cars on the bricks, where I used to live, it was lots of them. My grandfather was a mechanic, and there were always cars on bricks hanging around, you know what I mean, that he was tinkering with in some way or just doing something. I love how you mentioned the bugs. Snort Borg acid off the table like Scarface. Listen, if you've never been around some super bugs in your life, it feels exactly like that, right? They take everything you throw at them. It's just like, is that it? That it? Like it's just crazy, for real. So I thank you for that. And in the second poem, every time you said that same scratch leaves me skipping. And I love that, right? And sometimes it's just that repeat that people don't even know what's happening, right? But it's just a skip and they think it's natural, but it just keeps you skipping and skipping and skipping. Thank you, Michael Sindler, for being a mainstay of our community. Listen, folks, he wouldn't be highlighting Lighthouse writers for years and years and years if it wasn't beneficial, all right? So make sure you are plugging in with not only Lighthouse writers, but the one and only Michael Sindler. Truly, truly appreciate you for coming through, Michael Sindler. All right, coming up next, Fire Man in the building. And I'm telling you, every time he comes through, he feels, listen, his rhymes are fireproof, okay? Because the level of scorch and heat that he's able to bring is unmatched. The one and only Eddie Foreman in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Poetastic. Always great to see you, man. Come on, take it away.
Thank you, my bro, like no other words like thunder. But you want to follow me, please look in the chat for where it's at. And last but not least, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't nowhere low enough. Ain't no building right enough. We'll get to you with you, babe. Sorry about that. So my name is Ed Potato Fantastic. Please get in time. You can draw my wine for sublime. All right. This is called Luminous Light. The light I see tonight, a star covered in white, doesn't clash despite. Oh, the radiant night, over how it ignites, offering some insight. Fly it higher than any kite. Shine it at midnight is a privilege and birthright. Let it hover like a satellite. Explode like dynamite. Let it flare like a snake bite. You could be a flame or a socialite to burn the blackened parasites. Shine your luminous flashlight. Don't forget to keep your sun tight with all your humble might in the pitch black night. Let it reach new heights to exterminate the villainous spite under our blinded sights. We have to prepare for the bullfights. You need to put up a fight. I hate to scratch or bite. It's not friendly or polite. Don't be too mad or uptight. Drink the mocks and smite in the hours, minutes, and days of tonight. Welcome the shady frights. Let them fuel your sunlight to make it shiny and bright. It's a pure, righteous delight to fight what is right in the spotlight. Thank you so much.
You are a pure, righteous delight, damn it. Unmute yourself, give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Poetastic.
Yes,
Woo!
a true delight is the perfect way to describe that man.
Indeed.
Isn't it though? Isn't it? Right? Of all the people that I know, right, of all the poets in our community, we have seen lots of poets, go into some dark spaces. Eddie somehow has always been able to stay in a positive light. And I thank you so much for that, Eddie, for however you've been maintaining or traversing this world, you always seem to find a way to stay positive, Eddie. Really, really, that is so powerful. Seriously, man. Your first poem is called Luminous Light. Like, listen, man, that could be your nom de plume, sir, right? Seriously, like you always do your best to resonate light. So I appreciate you. Like you said, you shine it at midnight. You know what I mean? With all your humble might, right? That is an Eddie Foreman poem, really. You need to put up a fight, like such an Eddie Foreman poem, really. Thank you, Eddie, for staying dedicated to your writing and being focused on who you are and where you're going. Truly appreciate you. All right, coming up next, shout out to educators in the building. This poet right here, man, continues to come through, whether they are ripping or not, continues to come through to share their energy. Man, I'm telling you, it's poets like this that have kept us going for 192 weeks. We like to call him Professor Platinum, the one and only Doug Silver in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you, Professor. Come on, take it away.
Thank you, Elemen2al. Great to see and hear you and all the poets as always. And thanks for shouting out the educators. And you're one of them yourself, we know. This one's on theme, seasons changing, time passing. It's a revised version of a piece I read here about a year ago. And hopefully that only makes it more so. Here it is. The garden in November, preparing it for sleep with maple leaves in various stages of decay, a foot thick between soil so cold and warming burlap bag blankets with names of coffee companies from around the world, Café Viejo from El Salvador, Café Verde from Ecuador, Café Nuyorican from Puerto Rico. It was a tough year to be a tomato, cold, wet spring, hot, dry summer, records falling everywhere, nature falling everywhere, raspberries tinged with wildfire smoke, gardening gloves tinged with wildfire smoke, my eyes tinged with wildfire smoke. But there were others, successes, potatoes hiding underground, happy to be safe down there, and squash of every shape and color, asking like beaming children, are you proud of me? And the soil, the earth itself, so permanent and so ever changing, ignoring us with all our good intentions and our constant need to fix everyone and everything. And like us, these maple leaves of every shape and color in various stages of decay, laughing at us on our way there, laughing with me on my way there, underneath a warming blanket, preparing myself once again for sleep. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Listen, poetry like that, no one's getting any sleep, okay? Unmute yourself, give it up for Doug Silver.
That was just so
Doug.
beautiful. Advocating for
Well
the natural world.
Thank you.
Just
Love it.
so
Everybody,
many
appreciate it.
levels.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You know, listen, and listen, for real, again, shout out the educators in the building. Do you know how beautiful it is to have an educator that's a poet, right? To have an educator that can weave creativity and poetry into a curriculum that's designed to stray you away from it. Like, everything in the American curriculum just distracts you from creativity. You know how powerful it is to have a creative in your classroom showing you what it really is to be creative? Thank you, Doug Silver. For real. Again, shout out all the educators in the building, all those watching, you know, on social media. It is an incredibly just difficult job, right? But it is one of the most important things in the world. Without educators, we would not be here with the language that we speak, right? For real. Next time you see an educator, man, show them some love. For real. Thank you, Professor Platinum. For real. The garden in November. Listen, it's interesting how many things that we do from around the world, how many things we gather. You mentioned the coffees from around the world, right? And each one of those are derived from different things. They have different additives and flavors and things, right? And they also treat us differently, right? There's even a New Eurekan coffee. Yes, it is. From Puerto Rico. It absolutely is. He said it's a great year to be a tomato, right? My eyes tinge the wildfire smoke. Listen, listen, New York was all hazy and crazy when the wildfires were happening, right, in Canada. And I'm telling you, everyone's eyes was reflecting that haze. Something about that, right? Ignoring us with all our good intentions. Some say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. However, we are trying to write ourselves into a new generation. Thank you. Thank you so much, Doug Silver, for all you do, for taking the time to hang out with us and to continue to focus on your creativity. It definitely means a lot. Thank you. All right. Coming up next. Oh, yeah, brother. Our resident wrestling phenomenon. This guy, let me tell you, continues to come through and bring some reality, right? Not saying that we all live in this fantasy world, but Dre Reyes is always coming with some real stuff right here. And listen, and I love how they have their connection with their partner on their screen. Listen, and we're going to hear from both of them this evening. But first up, the one and only Dre Reyes in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Dre. Always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. This is Dre Reyes. You can find me on Instagram at DreRay90. Before I start this poem, first off, it's not on theme, but in terms of reality, in terms of wrestling, I do have a poem here. It's a little bit on the dark side. If anyone is familiar with Chris Benoit suicide murder, I did a 3-piece diary poem in the perspective of Chris Benoit. It's called Crossface. Monday, March 15th, 2004. I never knew how I would feel winning the big gold in the main event of WrestleMania 20 last night. What an adrenaline rush it was, feeling the energy of a sold-out Madison Square Garden, a prestigious mecca of sports events where some of the biggest bouts and moments in pro wrestling history have taken place. Looking back now, that match felt like a blur, except the finish, as if linear time fucked itself. Paul did a great job milking that submission, and his timing with the tap out was spot on. The moment the ref called for the bell, I was overcome with so much emotion. For nearly 20 years, I busted my ass all over the world trying to master my craft, making a decent living, and worked with some of the greatest of all time. Not everyone gets to be world heavyweight champion. Not everyone gets to be in the main event of WrestleMania. At one point after my neck surgery in 2001, I thought that these may be vivid pipe dreams, feeling down, taken out on the people that I love. But somehow I kept at it and made the best of whatever was given to me. Although what we do is predetermined, I know I've earned my spot in this company. When I was given the belts and had my arm raised, the effects of the match started kicking a tad, but that crowd, the electricity powered me through to pose with the belts at a corner. Completely caught unaware, my brother Eddie was waiting for me to turn around where we would embrace each other with our world championships in the downpour of confetti. But what capped off the night was being able to share this moment with Nancy and Danny Boy in the ring. The last year or so have been hell for us, mainly my fault. I feel like what happened last night was my redemption. I want to stay on that path. Part 2, Thursday, November 17th, 2005. I still can't believe you're gone, Eddie. Even after watching your casket descend 6 feet under, misty-eyed and utterly heartbroken. You're the closest to a blood brother I ever had. I knew whenever I was in the ring with you, I could trust my life in your capable hands. Eddie, you've been a big help in keeping me in check, the best support system when I'm having issues with my family, but I gotta tough this out. The show must go on, as they say. However, I still feel bad for knocking you out that one time in Japan with a kick. But at the same time, if it wasn't for that kick, I wouldn't have gotten to know my best friend in this business and in life. Karma and irony has bit my ass pretty hard, as I have been plagued by head injuries throughout my career, mostly my fault. There is something about that diving headbutt that feels good when my body soars in the air like Dynamite Kid, and when it hits the mats, regardless if I hit my target or not, shit happens. There's something about bumping that feels oddly therapeutic. Either that or it's the painkillers and HGH doing a number on me. I don't know. Maybe Nancy was right. Maybe something is wrong with me. I've been feeling so detached and so pained, and it feels like I have no one in the locker room to console me. It's been less than a week, but I just can't imagine being able to fill this hole in my life or for anyone to take the role of best friend at any point. You saved my marriage. I just wish I could have saved you, amigo. Sunday, June 14th, 2007. I fucked up, Eddie. Nancy and Danny Boy are dead. I told them that they were sick with food poisoning, that Nancy was vomiting blood, that Danny Boy too was vomiting, that I would meet up with Chavo in Houston upon arrival. I try to fix this, but nothing is working. I tried researching the story of Elijah, the resurrection of a young boy. I tried prayer and left copies of the Holy Bible next to their bodies. I don't know what to do. I texted Chavo and a few others my address, and that's the dogs are in the enclosed pool area and the back door is open. There's only one way to fix this. I found out the quickest and most painless way to leave this earth. I fucked up, Eddie. Forgive me, God. I have sinned. I will see you soon. Thank you.
So, yo, if you don't know that story, that was magnificent. Unmute yourself, give it up.
Yeah, that's some masterful storytelling.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, really
That's
deep.
phenomenal story.
Right, raw exposure.
That's
You
crazy.
can only grow from here.
Wow, unbelievable. Phenomenal.
I totally agree. I think with that kind of poem, Dre Reyes, you have just been initiated into the storytellers of our community. I know those characters. I know those names. I know those stories. But I've never heard a poet put them into a poem. It is truly a tragedy. All those things that you're mentioning between Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Horrible, horrible stories, right? And then he named it Crossface. For those of you who are not wrestling fans, Chris Benoit is a murder-suicide. He was a very prominent wrestler, and his finishing move happened to be the crippler crossface, right? Because they called him the crippler Chris Benoit. So it's really interesting how you went all the way into that, Dre Reyes. I appreciate that. And then he mentioned Mr. Frog Splash himself, Eddie Guerrero, right? Like there's so much to where these cats came from. They came up on the same side of wrestling, right? WCW style, and they kind of went over into WWE. There's a lot to it, right? But these are very prominent figures in life, and they have such a horribly poetic story, right? The Dynamite Kid, even. Appreciate that, Dre Reyes. I'm telling you. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. For real. That dude is the squared circle. I'm telling you. If you don't know about it, you're going to learn about it very soon. A la Dre Reyes. Appreciate you, man. For real. Looking forward to the next poem and the next poem and the one after that. Appreciate you. Coming up next, woo, our resident magician is here. This gentleman always comes through with all kinds of energy. His drip is always on point, and his poems are just as, listen, ever since I've been rocking with this cat, he continues to surprise me. And I promise you tonight will be no different. The one and only Gustav Salas in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Gustav, it's always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Hey, Elemental, RMT, and beloved poets. It is delightful to be with you tonight. I have brand new shit written today. It is on theme, and I am excited to bring it to you. This is called The Dance of Time. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. There is a lesson, learn, learn, learn. There is a fire, burn, burn, burn. And a desire, yearn, yearn, yearn. There is a time for everything. Summer, fall, winter, spring. Spring brings flowers and life's rebirth. A time to be thankful for our sacred earth. Summers are hot, but filled with delight. Outdoors in the sun, our days filled with light. Autumn comes on as the leaves fall. Their dazzling colors are bound to enthrall. Winter is hard with a blanket of snow, but warmed by the fire, the world seems aglow. This endless cycle of this dance of time moves us relentlessly, yet is somehow sublime. The earth sustains us, and the stars they burn. To everything, turn, turn, turn. Thank you.
Turn, everything's gonna turn, turn. I mean,
Wow. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yes,
sir.
as always,
Awesome.
totally
Perfect.
awesome. No doubt about it.
you know,
Right on point. On point.
there is something magical when you weave what people know as music and what we know as poetry together, even though they're the same two sides, same coin. I don't know, maybe it's the rim of the same coin. I don't know. Either way, it's just so natural, right? It's like a backhand in badminton or tennis or ping pong. It's the same damn thing. It's amazing what you do, Gustav, right? There is a lesson. Learn, learn, learn. And if you didn't get the lesson, I implore you to go back and rewind and rewind and rewind so you can learn, learn, learn. A time for everything, no doubt. Dazzling colors are bound to enthrall. Yeah. Make sure you know what colors that you're focused on, right? In this dance of time, right? Let me tell you, Gustav is one of the poets in our community that will not only dazzle you with language and song, but he'll put you on point with what's going on in the political world, right? When he started talking about them Flintstones, I'm telling you, that shit is so bananas. Appreciate you, Gustav, for real. Make sure you are plugging in with Gustav Salas, a mainstay of our community, a magician indeed. All right, coming up next. Yo, been a minute. But here we come. Coming up next, we have the most eloquent writer in the game that I know coming at us all the way across the pond. And I'm telling you, when I got this message today about what is going to happen right now, I wasn't really, I don't know if I was prepared for it. But here it comes, y'all. We got a duet. we got a collaboration that I think we've all been waiting for. It is here. Coming up on one side of this collaboration, as I mentioned, all the way across the pond, the most eloquent writer I know in the world, the one and only Lantern Carrier is in the building. And the other side of this magnificent coin this evening is the curator of his own flight pattern and a damn incredible voice of his generation, the one and only Raul James in the building. Let me tell you what is about to happen. This is an atomic bomb of the most natural order. Gentlemen, it is great to see you both. Please let these folks know where they can find you online and delight the world with your amazing poetry. Please take it away.
My details are in the chat. Just making sure that Raul is ready to go.
Ready to go, brother.
Sweet. I dare not give up on you, my queen, but keep this agony unseen, even as I make constant sacrifices for your love. I dream on sleepless nights, eyes wide open, with memories fixed on my beloved, and me gazing into the incandescent beauty of your moonlit splendor.
Everywhere in the seasons of time, her beauty shines rays of the sun's splendor. I am but a small blink, shaped in robust ways. She is the celestial love of all the ages that visits me in the dark of my sleepless nights. From the toil of her transcendent memories, the dramas of my life plays out in the four corners.
What does my sacrifice really mean? Can lavender blossoms be fragrant without the unfurling petals? Can the child come forth without the mother's toil and labor? Lantern knows that whatever he gives was first received.
6 days to put all things right, so as above, before the sacrifice of below, to populate Eden with the blossoms of hope. From the labor of love, our child came forth into the sacred energies of this universal story to rest and reflect in the dreams of open hearts.
At eventide, I see shimmering rays and sunsets extolling your glories, even as the rainbow whispers your name. The flames of your luster dances, my core becoming melodious like a lute. Sparks fly from fire and not balls of snow. I am your tiny spark, and you are my eternal glow.
Welcome by the morn's dew, a sonnet of golden rays shines upon her love. As the first tide withdraws back into the sea, only to return with the noon waves feeding the soul. The eternal fire burns in full majesty as whispers sparks rainbows of her beauty.
In thoughts of you, sometimes I cannot sleep. Like a drunken lover, I swoon in day and night reveries, pine with the skylarks, singing lamenting love songs in my heart. Gone are the seasons of remorse and dark nights, nor replaced by carousels of celestial delight.
In the days of warriors, intoxicated thoughts drove life profoundly. As I rode a carousel of spiritual reflections, I awoke to a chorus of songbirds, uncaged. In the season of redemption, the goddess awaits my Thor from winter's isolation.
Whenever you're near me, your braids woven from fine silk are too immaculate to describe. You smile like Da Vinci's Mona, ethereal, eyes gazing inwards to heaven, an enticer of souls.
In the short frozen days of enchanted time, her charms are neither near nor far. Mind's eye open to the beholder of her wilds, here flowing, a lifeline to my wondrous soul. I see beyond the gate of our heavenly home as I sit with silent smiles of silky moments.
Your face is far more bewitching than the one which launched 1,000 ships. There is a much less longing, a passion in my being, my soul strangely contented and full of the solitude of silence. My darling, what are flowers to thee? It is spring and I walk on holy ground, petunias and honeysuckle unfurling, even as the orchids shout your name.
A beauty, a captive of our mind's odyssey. 1,000 souls take to the high seas in a quest for glory to be immortalized by time. Carved images await their turn on holy grounds, if only for a moment to bask in her reverence and to be bewitched once again by her charms.
I wish to wrap myself in a brocade made from your luster, blending with this magical season, not to compete, but fold my hands in reverence, prostrating at thy feet divine. Outside it is cool and the dearth of sunshine lends ears to the siren's roll, the contractor's noisy commotions in the nearby apartment suites.
Out of the tranquil days of hibernal wisdom, I seek to wrap myself in the scent of her warmth. Like the falling snow in a multitude of familiar, notorious whispers glow when joy is unveiled. Thy beauty, a poem that speaks of contentment, on wings free to soar beyond words, unbroken.
I look forward to another promise of renewal and transformative splendor, to watch the stately daffodils and marigolds reminding me of your redolence and mellifluous sweetness. Summer enters, carrying the nourishing sunlight and bewildering shades of your undying beauty.
Her voice rings like 1,000 kisses upon my lips, a prelude to the rebirth of life, a promise fulfilled. Angel's wings takes flight, love's halo shines in the moonlight, as we journey through portals of passion into a new dawn. Spring's sweetness returns, a renewal of her inner beauty, as our desires take root in the shade of a weeping willow.
On autumnal evenings, we gaze intimately as the magenta leaves cascade, you and I blending into the tides of fall and crimson colors of the horizon's ridge of gracefulness and majesty. Winter does its snow white magic, its emotions spilling into the gaiety of family, frivolity, and food, accompanied by Santa, Magi's, and the glisten of baby Jesus's crib.
My longing was tempered by the chill of an autumn's eve. A symphony of 1,000 crushes escaped from my heart, to play in the falling leaves, colors wrapped in full delight, as we nestled into love's reality and the kinfolk of the season. In the distance, I gazed upon the silence of a setting sun, to swaddle our temples safely in the sounds of tranquility.
Yet my inner vessel is tranquil. There is solace within every move, flowing smoothly up and down a burning frame as its melanin skin stands and glows, speaks to me of love. My heart pulsates the music of serene heavens, even as an innate song bearer floods this tabernacle, whispering praises to a priceless love.
This epic adventure takes us back to the Tower of Virtue and the goddess lighthouse lit by the flame of serenity. It holds memories of our lovemaking by the tabernacle and hints of a flute's note, no words required, tranquil in my intent. I am a character in her story, transcendent of time's fabric, singing a song in gratitude once again for the honor of her hand.
For the honor of her hand. This has been the illustrious role I am, James, and the lantern carrier. Thank you so much.
Blessing, poets.
Could you get more eloquent than that? I don't know. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Lantern Carrier and Raw.
Wow.
Right.
So beautiful.
Nice.
So
great.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was epic.
Trying to figure out who's my baby daddy because y'all got me pregnant with words. Can I say that? Is that cliche?
Nobody's claiming you.
Okay.
I'll always give way to the great Lantern. So
You're too kind, my brother. It's muy amable. Too kind, too kind.
hey, whenever he calls, I answer, man. So
Igualmente, mi amigo. Equally.
You see what happens when gardeners get together? You see what happens, right? They start seeding all of the plants. All of the plants. And creativity grows, right? When you get creatives who are focused on creativity, they only inspire creativity. And this is why I was saying I'm not sure if we're ready for this one. I know both of these cats, and they work. They work. They really work on what they do. And you could tell in some of these lines, celestial love in all the ages, right? We would not be here without the mother's toil and labor, right? Rest and reflect in the dream of open hearts. There's the rainbow whisper your name. Come on. A sonnet of golden rays shines upon her love. Carousels of celestial delight. Listening to songbirds uncaged. A lifeline to my wondrous soul. Come on. Come on. Full of the solitude of silence. The solitude of silence. And they threw in some flowers, right? Petunias and honeysuckle. I seek to wrap myself in the scent of her warmth. What? What? Thy beauty, a poem that speaks of contentment, transformative splendor. Like, my inner vessel is tranquil. I mean, these two are, I think, maybe why audiobooks were created is so people could really delight in what they do. Thank you, both of you. First of all, for knowing each other. Secondly, for writing poems together. And thirdly, for sharing them with us. Incredible, incredible collaboration. Truly, truly appreciate you. Let me shout out a couple folks before we move on. Shout out Diana Crum for hanging out with us this evening. Thank you for coming through and hanging out. Truly appreciate your energy. Shout out BB for coming through. See you being active in the chat. Truly appreciate that. Sophie Joseph in the building. Truly appreciate all the energy that you have shared with us this evening. Garland Thompson in the building. Melinda Lucas is here. Always love when Melinda comes through. Listen, all these people that I'm shouting out, they are not on the list this evening, but they are coming through to share all their energy with us. Of course, I see the Jedi Master in the building. Shout out the one and only Paul Skiff. Man, if you don't know Paul Skiff, man, for real, the OG is here, man. Make sure you plugging in with Paul Skiff. All right, let's keep it going, y'all. Coming up next, a newer member of our community came through last week for the first time, told us an incredible story about their connection. Listen, a beautiful connection with one of the founders of our cafe, and just happens to be an incredible poet in their own right. The one and only Sarah Small in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Great to see you again. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental. Good to see everybody.
My Instagram is SAS Poet 1. That's SAS Poet 1. And I don't have a lot of poetry on my Instagram site, but at some point I will. So first poem, I have two short ones to read. First one is called Peel. I peel you out of my life, like kind of like when your skin peels, like when you've been in the sun too long, except that because of my skin tone, I don't normally burn, except the depleting ozone layer changed all that, especially one day in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I really only had that happen once, but now I live in the tundra in Minnesota. Peel, kind of like my mom and I, when I was real little, we put on this mud mask that she got from the drugstore. It was 1982 and there were no commercials for it. And then when the mud mask hardened, we peeled it off to get all the oiliness from our skin, to get rid of whiteheads and blackheads and anything that did not belong to us, anything that we did not need in our lives. So I peel you away from me now. Oh, yeah, I got one more. This one is called Cheyenne, Wyoming, 1992. To our destination, we have arrived. Mostly saw a gas station and prairie. Denver, Colorado, we had survived. Our wish granted by the hitchhiking ferry. We longed for a place to rest our heads. The howl of the wind prevented our sleep. These two hippie chicks had just seen the dead. You can crash and have something to eat. Could not have wished for anything more. The mac and cheese deluxe was such a great treat. In our sleeping bags, we slept on the floor. Hot tea made the sanctuary complete. We slept for 12 hours, woke up the next day, grateful for these kind girls letting us stay. That's it.
Wow. Again, storytellers are here this evening, y'all. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Sarah Swope.
Yes. Woo-hoo, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I truly love when poets come through and they really do what they've been waiting to do, right? And the fact that you brought multiple poems to me says that you've been waiting on this for a while. And now that you're in this groove, you're ready to really make contact. And I'm thankful for that. In the first one, Peel, you mentioned now that you live in a tundra. Listen, there are a few different zones in the world. If you don't know what Sarah Small was mentioning, make sure you do, right? There's a taiga, there's a tundra. There's a few different, make sure you look into it. The mud mask, you saying peeling off, I love that. It's a textural type of thing, in my opinion. 1982, no commercials for it. Back when commercials were hard to come by. Back when getting on cable wasn't easy. Back when, you know, getting your face in front of thousands of people were not easy. Yeah. But I love how you brought it into sharing time with your mom. Amazing. Right? They get rid of anything that didn't belong to us. Man, if only we could use that on a larger scale. And then Cheyenne, Wyoming, 1992, in the second piece, you mentioned the wishes being granted by the hitchhiking ferry. Like, that just sounds like a movie waiting to happen, right? Like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know what I mean? Hot tea made the sanctuary complete. Let me tell you something about tea. You know, listen, love all the people who may love coffee, but I am a tea drinker, and tea makes everything different. So thank you. I appreciate you, truly. A newer mainstay of our community, make sure you are plugging in with Sarah Small. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next, this incredible poet right here. Listen, I think about this poet and what they do and how committed they are to doing what, right? And I love people who love blowing minds. And this next poet is one of those folks who are dedicated to blowing your mind every time you get a chance to hear him. The one and only Kazi Kaz in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Kaz, always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. Always great to see you, man. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is good. All right, tonight I actually am on theme. So the name of this piece that I have for y'all is titled Seasons of Change. Wait, hold up. Can y'all see me? Can you see me? Oh, shoot. Hold up. Damn. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. Seriously?
Yeah, we still got you, Kaz. Come on. We still with you. Let's go.
My phone
the video is stalled, but we can still hear you. There we go. Let's do it.
Got it. So I wonder if September remembered to ask if December could come a little earlier around here. But the October is very good friends with November, so that's definitely not something that either of them trying to hear. And all the while, June was trying to hang around till August, but as we all know, July just had to interfere. And now February is starting to feel some kind of way because January wants April, March, and May to disappear. But see, if Monday could till Wednesday, Thursday, then maybe Friday could Saturday till Sunday. Because yesterday didn't leave us to have tomorrow and today. So I'm waiting for last week to start next month's new year. Meanwhile, men are taking 60 seconds to an hour while centuries of eons away from the next millennia, which limits infinity to the beyond of forever's never-ending eternity. And while all of this takes place, the sun and moon conspire all throughout the cloudy day to gaze at the starry night, while comets dream of flying through the space-filled universe of the galaxy's cosmos, thus making timeless history through the future's present past. Question is, how long will it last? Well, let's see. Eternity's longevity will never end as long as infinity continues to last forever. But first, we must convene and unite as one in solidarity for every one of us to come together. Now, whether or not either or is for or against me, my pros and cons come and go like the ebbs and flows of my yeses and nos. See, we focus our vision on the sights we look at instead of gazing at the views we see right before our eyes. When the presents being offered to us bestowed in our gifts are the treasures we should look at as our rewarding prize. So look again through the needlepoint eye of your paper's pen so you can evanesce and ascend to the schematically ill dynamics of time and space that we were inevitably made to eventually transcend. Because as winter begins to spring into summer's fall, autumn starts to sing whenever the birds call, tweeting a symphony about what the earth saw while tripping in harmonies that would drop the world's jaw. Caw, caw, that was all that could be heard. There definitely wasn't any need for any word. No adjective, preposition, noun, or verb could describe the picturesque eloquence to be observed. The planets orchestrating a sun-shining moonlight, dancing in the clouds so as not to seem too bright, eclipsing one another on a dark afternoon night, a story like sonata that some star will soon write. A sight seen as a most poetic of pictures, the sun and moon dance like a brother and sister. Blinded by the light of this celestial mixture, a nightmare's dream that was but only a whisper. Thank you.
I tried to warn y'all what this dude does because he does it and does it and does it well. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Kazi
Cosmology in the house.
And just the
Amazing.
sound work in there, just the
Over the
alliteration and everything, and the inside rhymes, just beautiful, man. That's some great technical poetry as well as really saying something.
Yep.
Thank you, man. For real.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I know a couple cats. I'm thinking about one in particular that writes in multi-dimensions, right? And your writing is like an inception inside of an inception. And I dig that because you go all the way in on it. Every time I hear you, Kaz, you go all the way in, right? You like, you're not like, oh my God, Alice is tumbling in the rabbit hole. You're like, it's a rabbit hole. How many different rabbits are there? How many different holes are there in this rabbit hole? Like, every time as I'm dropping, as I'm falling, like I'm missing out on things. Like there's different floors to this whole thing. I truly dig that, man. You don't let anything, kind of get past your sight without calling it out. So I appreciate that. In this one, it reminds me, and kind of like my, shout out to Keeper of Concrete. We're gonna get to that, cat. As far as like deciphering, right? What you do in your style, man, it's so beautiful. It really, really is. I need you to know that your style is uniquely yours, Kaz. For real. Never have I heard another cat get down like you. So I appreciate you. While comets dream of flying. Said January wants March, April, and May to disappear. Like, come on. As long as infinity lasts forever, right? Evanescence and transcend, right? Eclipsing one another, sun and moon dance. Like, come on, man. Like Michael Sandler said, right? It's technical and it happens to be dope from a verbal, from a vernacular standpoint. It's just ridiculous. Appreciate you, Kaz. Continue to come through, man, with that heavyweight work, man, for real. All right, coming up next, I mentioned earlier the storytellers are in the building. Here comes the next one. I like to call this gentleman the Vincent Price of poetry. His 7th book is on its way. Be on the lookout for Mirror, Mirror, the one and only Ike Waltz is in the building. Also has a feature coming up very soon, so make sure you ask him about that. Make sure you are plugging in with Ike Waltz. It's great to see you. Come on, Ike, tell these folks where they can find you online. Take it away.
f-artstatements.com. f-artstatements.com, meaning fine art statements. The Christmas song of a common lark. Indian summer, fall graffiti, a teaser, a late pleaser. Cool rain folds flowers gently. Frost covers the inevitable. Colors fade into obscurity. Cornfields getting ready to shed their husk. Noisy machines complete the task. Winter preparing the valley. Naked, foggy, cold reality. Past ties, weighing in, searching eyes. Little of saying, little to say. Whistling winds blow that icy white crystal snow. Candlelight so warming to my soul. Spring, so long ago, so long away, too playful a sway, remembering comforting fragments of a childhood past. Last summer's heat, hiding in waves of sun-drenched yellow, late years freshly bundled on canvas painted wheat. Reminiscing the lark, jubilating my heart. Way aloft, the smell of the daily cut, green grass. Tell me of a world I didn't see. It's all right. I admire that native tongue. I searched, learned to understand. Finally, I succeeded, and I found for you my voice, as if I learned to speak. And silent dreams took on a future's shape. It's passing late. It's brushing dark. No rush, no rush. I made my choice and embrace. At last, I see now myself in a way called Scare Me Not. War, hope, money, God, money, God. Now that I'm weary, now I see who is rich, now I see what is poor. These ones I begged too. I feel them all. How could I forget that fascination for that sweet stench of the human garbage dump? Is it not that annoying all? Or is it heaven? Is it hell? You will find out. I am here, native tongue, will tell, will out. Time is running late. Passionate thoughts have no date. Bright lights behind that dimming looking glass, too far to make out an inkling of eternity, visiting that forever tired cemetery, a black hole at the beginning of infinity. It's all so vividly, unlike passionately, that all of me, yes, my friends, it depends. It depends. If you are listening to native tongue, or a foreign tongue is listening to native you. After all, today may be our Christmas last ocean song. Yes, my friends, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, once again, it depends. It depends. Thank you.
Just breathe for a second, because I'm telling you, that dude does it. Unmute yourself, give it up for Ike. Whoa!
Woo-hoo, Ike! Yeah.
Can't wait to see that feature.
Beautiful.
For real. So, for those of you who don't know, Ike Waltz will be featuring, I believe, at Inspired Word coming up this weekend. Make sure you are plugged in. This gentleman has been writing poetry and experiencing life in such a beautiful way, in so many different aspects. When you learn about Ike Waltz, you will see he's a true creative, truly. And you know, in his early poem, he mentioned fragments of a childhood past. I think all of us have benefited from a past that may not have been so beautiful, right? But it's taught us, it taught us how to make beautiful things out of it, right? Now I see who is rich, right? Passionate thoughts have no dates, no doubt. Doesn't matter when you reach the goal that you seek, as long as you do. Black hole at the beginning of infinity, man. Something so powerful about those who can create what some people just find so difficult or horrible. We do it on a regular, effortlessly at times, as poets. Thank you, Ike. An incredible storyteller, an incredible poet, an incredible creative. Always appreciate you when you come through. All right, coming up next, shout out to East Bay in the building. This next poet, I believe, is on manuscript number 8 continues to come through and do what he does at such an incredibly high level. The one and only D. Allen is in the building. Come on, D. Allen. Let these folks know where they can find you online. If you are ready to share the screen, it is ready to rock for you. Let these folks know what it is, man. Come on, D. Allen, take it away.
And there's Magus showing off his copy of my second book, Unwritten Law. I put that out back in 2012 and released it again in 2020. Still proud of it. And you're going to need to increase your collection very soon, Magus, because I have an 8th book coming out in February. All right, let's get started. I'm about to give you one poem for 3 minutes per usual. On tonight's theme of seasons change. This is an old one from late 2007 from my college years. This is called Kinara. This is for the Black folks in the house tonight. Kinara. Red. For the blood that courses through the veins, granting precious life to an entire people. Black. For the race that sprang forth from the fertile womb of the same mother that birthed the whole species. Her many children erected and made possible the first civilizations, sciences, arts, crafts, dances, folklore, languages. Green. For the land. Sprawling jungles and vales, teeming with wild beasts, teeming with life, symbolic of hope and reconnection with nature's splendor and long forgotten roots. Red, black, green, 3 colors, 7 candles set on the Kinara, set alight, a shimmering beacon guiding the people lost, separated, scattered, back into view of each other. Gathering to acknowledge 7 days, 7 principles. Unity, self-determination, collective work, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, faith. Without these, Africans cannot survive. Follow the light from the Kinara. It signals that the first fruits of the harvest we need are here, all 7 of them. And that poem was called Kinara, written in Kwanzaa, 2007.
You know,
from this mic to your ears, I'm D. Allen. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the holidays, y'all.
Damn it, D. Allen does it again. Unmute yourself. Give it up for D. Allen.
Yeah, D. Yeah.
Woohoo. Yes. Great as always, brother. Great as always.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. Again, shout out to East Bay in the building. It's truly a tragedy, a travesty going on right now in the East Bay. All right. They didn't ship the Raiders to Vegas. They're shipping the A's to Vegas. Craziness going on in the East Bay right now. I'm just saying. So yo, appreciate you, D. Allen, for all the things that you do. And for this Kwanzaa poem, right? Kwanzaa was based on, these principles from West Africa. And he mentioned them, right? Imani, right? Kuji Chakalia, Umoja, Ujima, Ujama. Listen, these things are how people of African descent celebrate in ways of creativity. This is not about spending money. This is not about investing in the capitalistic structure of what they believe celebrations should be, right? This is about staying dedicated to your ancestry, to your culture, and sharing what means the most to you. If you don't know the Kwanzaa principles, I implore you to look into them. They are incredible and they will help you no matter your religion, creed, content, color. It doesn't matter. These things are values of which every man or woman or person of every faith can embrace. Thank you, D. Allen, for representing the East Bay, for keeping it hella real, as always. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next, West Coast in the building. Again, another East Bay representative. This incredible poet, shout out to Poetry Global Network, continues to make space and make ways for so many poets, so many poets in so many different mediums, right? Whether it be social media, whether it be in print, whether it be interviewing, this poet makes room for poets. And if you don't know this poet, make sure you write their name down, because I guarantee you they will make sure your voice gets amplified. The one and only Finn Bell in the building. I like to call the daughter of Krypton. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Please.
Always great to see you, Elemental. Thank you so much, folks. Good evening. You can find me on Instagram. I am Finn_Bell. So I have the pleasure tonight of covering a poem from someone in the community. We've been talking about this for the longest time, and it's finally come to fruition. This person was so generously let me borrow their poem. So I'm going to read it to the best of my ability. Woo! Because it's a doozy. It's quite a poem. And then at the end, I will introduce who it is. Okay, so here we go. Last year, I was voted most likely not to succeed with second chances. Currently, I hold the world's record for most failed attempts at saying, I love you when it counts. I catered all the Merlot manna and mustard seed for the final farewell party Jesus threw at his Last Supper. Hey, never ask angels auctioning off your prayers if they were just bored and needed something else to do. Last night, I caught a glimmering glimpse of a suicidal firefly flicking off its own light switch and cried. Can't explain why in my second past life, I was first to throw Yeshua a baby shower, but I did. Can't explain why he got kicked out of heaven. Maybe hell just knew Satan needed a second job. Can't explain why turning water into wine turned wise men into winos. Jesus was just being too flashy. I'm a gambling, going all in. God's got a gut feeling. I'm not playing by the house rules anymore. I'm a drop a coin inside my slot machine and yank that lever, knowing I brought thunderstorms with me. A poker face player playing with a pair of loaded dice for eyes. I'm a misplaced safe bet. Miracle, call me. Raising money for folks who can't afford to go to heaven, as if Christ forgot what it cost him to get there. I'm a make no mistake, sultry, sexy, top shelf, expensive liquid pour of a river Styx in a dirty wine glass. A firefly full of a fifth of lighter fluid getting drunk in a lighthouse with the lights out. Say I ain't missing a teeth. Midnight hummingbird gospel prayer sung in a lisp that Lord could not understand. A sunset sitting silently next to several saints in the nosebleed section, searching for God I am. Telling marginal from margin to margin, make no mistake, I am a monster. Made of saliva, snake, venom, spit, mouth of a madman with a madman's mouth to mouth madness of a mind matching Gandhi's grit. Knew my graceful exit sign smile sleeps comfortably underneath the bottom of God's untied shoes. No, I doubt Daddy didn't know we missed our pearly gate curfew because Christ confiscated our fake IDs. No, point me to the closest Walmart I heard, let's make great America great again, is coming with rollback prices. No, point me to slave trade whip, slave ships, slave chains, and the middle passage that made America great from the jump, Mr. Trump. I can arrival on arrival with Jesus, a Bible as my only two American idols. I keep my rifle, follow behind you, find you, acting childish and pedophile you. The last time my self-worth left Earth, its Sunday brunch came back with skeleton bones as a snack. Last night, I caught a glimmering glimpse of a suicidal firefly flicking off its own light switch, and I cried. Loaded dice. I'm not the one. CP Mays.
That's called not fair. That's called not fair at all. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Finn Bell.
Oh man, that was
CP
a read. What a
CP Mays.
I want your voice.
well done. Wow.
Oh, it's things like that. It's things like that, right? Just when you think that you have your mind fortified and ready for whatever may come at you, then you hear the daughter of Krypton reading the Keeper of Concrete's poem. Like we're talking comic book level things here, folks. Like and listen, this is again, I don't know if y'all know, for real, shout out Scott Pleasant, shout out the poet laureates in the building, shout out the poet laureates of our community, shout out the greatest community in the world for showing love and connection in so many different ways. That poem just happens to be crazily ridiculous, but when delivered by Finn Bell, it almost sounded like a Christmas carol, like one of those nursery rhyme type, right? The only problem is, Razor Blade, is that maybe hell just needed the devil to have a second job, right? Poker face player playing with pair of loaded dice, man. Mouth of a madman with a madman's mouth. Like talking about the fire from a dragon's throat, from the dragon who's spitting the fire. Like it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Christ confiscated our fake IDs. That made America great from the jump, Mr. Trump. Y'all are scary. What I just witnessed, that's scary, because the world heard that. Just so y'all know, that was the poem heard around the world. If you weren't sure, it just echoed and back at the speed of sound. Appreciate y'all. For real. That was next level phenomenal. Truly appreciate that. All right. Coming up next, never to be outdone. You know why? Because I'm going to ask her now, and Like I asked her last month, I asked her 2 months ago, and I'm going to ask her again in 6 months, because this incredible poet is putting in the work. And I've been hearing this poet putting in the work for the past 2 years, 3 years, right? So I've been asking her for 2 years how to get down, and I'm gonna ask her again in 6 months how she continues to get down. The one and only Vex Lex is in the building, and I guarantee you she gonna put it down on y'all this evening too. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Lex. It is always great to see you. Come on, take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. I always appreciate that. I'm Vex Lex. You can follow me on Instagram at Vex Lex Poetry. I have a book out, Ask Me Again in 6 months. You can plug in with me on Instagram to see how to get your copy. All right, so I have one piece tonight. It is called Indistinguishable. Seasons change, but my seasonal depression does not. It does not limit itself to winter. When I try to find warmth in the sub-zero chamber that I call my mind, even when I am in a bind, I embrace the dark days while I remain attached to my pessimistic ways. Seasons change and the time comes for me to spring into action, but much to my dissatisfaction, the fresh air seems almost malignant. I remain indignant to my reality. I would much rather glow in the sun, but even that would not impress an audience of one. Seasons change and I remain the same. I show my face from time to time, try to convince myself that things will eventually be fine. The vitamin D courses through me. Maybe there is hope for me, since summer isn't over yet. But the seasons change and I have forgotten how to stand tall. Instead of soaring to new heights, I fall victim to my own sense of impending doom. Maybe next season will be different. Maybe I will finally have learned how to circumvent these thoughts that have brought me nothing but grief. Wouldn't that be a relief? Thank you.
Wouldn't it though? Wouldn't it though? Unmute yourself, give it up for Vex Lex.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, there is something very, very real about speaking your truth. Vex, you'll hear from me. Lex, you'll hear from me soon. I need to get my copy, and I'm going to ask you tonight or tomorrow, not again in 6 months, but I'm going to ask you tonight because I need that work in my life. Listen, what I know about Lex is dedicated to what they do. Whether we are rocking on Zoom, I've seen Lex get down on some Instagram lives, and listen, Lex is dedicated. And I thank you for always exhibiting that dedication on Monday nights, truly. In the sub-zero chambers of your mind, listen, it's cold, but it has to be, right? It has to be. Fresh air seems almost indignant. Yeah. Forgotten how to stand sometimes. Sure. Sense of impending doom. Listen, what Lex has done is, something that I learned recently, and I love the fact that Lex has never wavered from who they are, right? And nowadays they say it this way, right? When you stand on business, it's real deal. All right. Appreciate you, Lex. Truly. Again, make sure you plug in with Lex. All right. I'll holler at you soon, Lex. All right. Coming up next, our resident musician in the building. This cat, listen, also connected some poets from around the world with a local library venue. I truly, truly love when poets are reaching out, right? Not just staying in their little cocoon, but reaching out to the world with every inch of their butterfly wings. The one and only CC Arshagra's in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, CC. It is always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Okay, well, you're gonna get some mad love right about now. I'm gonna do my best to give it to y'all. And but I'm gonna start off by saying the IG thing is it's c.c.arshagra, the just ccarshagra.com. I got to work on the website. And the book is, this is not about me. It's 20 years of my life, 20 years ago, it's years of my life into documenting what it means to have a voice, to get up. And there goes my man Gustav pushing it out there for me. Scared Sacred, Death of an Ego, What Manner of Character were 3 books from 20 years ago. And I rarely read the stuff on the back, but Kate McQuaid, who's a 20-year veteran of the Boston Globe, wrote, "Not simply heard, it receives, it resonates, a ritual sharing, a moment of profound community that only the bare truth masked in the vessel of artful lyrics can ignite." And that's big, badass love from somebody who did not have to do that or give it up. And I literally said, don't say anything about the book unless you mean it and can live with it. I don't want nice words. And there's other people on there, including some beautiful names. I'm going to leave them off for now. Now, I started playing piano and music and saying that I am not a fucking singer and I'm not a musician. And I'm tired of saying it, but this man over there, Elemen2al, pushed me over the top, and now I'm looking at over a dozen songs that I could kick out in a recording studio that wants me in there to at least get it into some raw form and then put that out, maybe raise some funds and produce the lyrics and publish them and then maybe give it out. But I'm tired of saying that I'm not this and I'm not that. So I wrote this song because of that. This is called Pennies in the Fountain. And I'm going to play it with one hand because I just wrote it. And I'll slow it down a little bit for you, except for the very opening. Got it? We're good? Not muffling it up? Pennies in the fountain of wishes, dreams, and words, a passion to bring music and let the melodies ring true. Inspirations to move the heart of loving you with no apologies for the imperfections I am. Moving winds through to let myself be true while reaching out to love the ineffable you. And the beauty of being received by you, genuine and true. Although I confess my deprecation may feel blue, just an honest admission to all the professional musicians. I'm just a poet, scribe of soul as a creator, right or wrong. My humility composing on the instrument of what is, I'm alive. A note of my deep intentions to be, we all are one vibration. Pennies in the fountain of wishes, dreams, and words. A passion to bring music and let the melodies ring true. So living inspirations to move the heart of loving you. With no apologies for the imperfections I am. Pennies in the fountain of wishes, dreams, and words. So that's my apology song. So
I keep trying to tell this cat what he does, and he keeps trying to listen. I'm telling you, this dude's incredible. Unmute yourself, give it up for CC Chagra.
Yeah, CC! Fantastic.
All right. Woo!
It's old school, huh? It's an old school sounding thing. Wish Frankie was still alive. He can kick it.
Not old Blue Eyes. Oh my goodness. Listen, folks. The way CC comes through and does what he does, it's always refreshing because he comes at writing songs as if he's not a poet sometimes. You know what I mean? And he's got to give us this disclaimer. It's like, oh no, I'm only gonna play this with one hand, knowing that's a lightweight flex, right? I'm just gonna play this piano with one hand and follow along with these lyrics, this poet that I wrote, and I'm gonna give you this brand new shit real quick. Man, listen, you're not fooling nobody, sir. You're not fooling nobody who don't know what it really is to be an incredible writer, an incredible musician, right? Pennies in the fountain, right? Wishes, dreams, and words, right? Let the melodies ring true. And that's what you do every time, right? Every time your style comes out of you, it rings true, right? The beauty of being received. Man, that is where you are, sir. Right? Just a poet, scribe as a creative. Well, you know, no apologies for the imperfections I am. Listen, I think it is the imperfections that make us the poets that we truly are and have been. So thank you. Thank you for being such a dedicated member of our community, CC. Make sure you are plugging in with his artwork, with his manuscript, with all the things that he is trying to create. Let me tell you, CC is one of those folks, all right? It will only benefit you to connect with CCR Chagra. Appreciate you. All right, coming up next, this next incredible poet has a voice that, listen, it's something about it, right? there's something about having a voice that can just like lull you to sleep, or I should say lull you to sleep, but also keep you intrigued with the entire complexity of their poem. And let me tell you, she will not lull you to sleep, but she will lull you awake in all of her creativity. The one and only Sri Lal in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you and hear you. Please take it away.
Thank you, Elemental and Poets, and shout out to RMT. I am Sri Lal Dev on Instagram. And I have 2 poems tonight. First one is called A River. A river flows inside of me, a river of loss and rebirth, a river of song, a river of promise that my kind will not die out, a river that says, I will not go quietly. I am fire, water, earth, and sky. I am a river of life yet to come. Sometimes when the river floods, I ache with what is yet unborn. But I do not believe this river is born of sin or disobedience. This is not a river of shame, rape, or exile. This river is my mother's river and her mother's river. And this river is your river. You who are yet to rise. You who are yet to stand and speak your truth as you flow on unbroken to the sea. The next one, let's see, is called Luminous. Okay. A full moon reflects sun fire, so I am luminous for a moment at the water tank. Toss rice to fire at dawn. What I mean is this: surrender. I speak words like honey, that I may know what lives beyond right or birch bark truth, for I sense there is a radiance that outlasts this flesh and bone. This body I bathe in the Periyar River as if I were anything more than sacred ash, as if I were to chant and offer myself as incense or white flowers at your feet. Peace.
Yo, I tried to tell y'all about what Sri Lal does. Unmute yourself, give it up for Sri
Yeah, that was
Lal.
absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Srila, the passion that is happening in this time with what's happening on the earth between us as a family, and your work is coming together in a way where I just heard something of divine motherhood in that, and beyond, sort of maybe poets beyond borders kind of a thing. But I heard the love across dimensions in that. So it's not an easy thing to do, but I heard that in there. I just want to give you that. I don't think poets should be so kind that they should only say nice things. That may be a little risky to say, but the love is in there. I hope you get it.
Oh, listen. Our job is not to play nice. Let's keep that 100. Our job is not to play nice, right? Our job is to step on toes. We just happen to do it the most creative ways, right? Our job is to drop pianos on people's heads. Our job is to be a wrecking ball that crashes what you believe is your city hall, what you believe is your amendments, your Bill of Rights, right? Our job is to change all of that, right? So what do? As poets, we are not wreckers, right? We are wrecking balls, but we like to be a soft wrecking ball. Like the whole building has to come down, but what's the most creative way that we can bring the building down? You know what I mean? Like, can we get the entire city involved and we can just like give everyone a brick that they can leave with? You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit that creative come up with. It's like, what's the point of just destroying it in the middle of a city and no one gets anything out of it? Listen, when you talk about, first of all, you mentioned two amazing things, right? You said a river, which is water, which is motion, right? I will not go quietly, right? And then in luminous, which is light, of course, which is also power, which is also strength, which is also fire, which is also energy. A full moon reflects sun fire. She said, I speak words like honey. And listen, I've said that. I said a radiance that outlasts this flesh and bone. Again, I've said many times before, there are people who do this and there are people who do this, right? There are people who do their best to be poetic. And then there are people who are poetic naturally. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to share your creative inspiration with us at all of its amazing levels. All right, coming up next, only because I know this cat, I get to yell at him. This cat is making some major moves. Again, shout out to Keeper of Concrete. Shout out to Razor Blade, the Razor Blades shave with. Shout out the vets in the building, man. This incredible poet continues to do some amazing things, man. And listen, y'all are about to see this cat in a different way, man. I'm telling y'all. Just be on the lookout and keep your eyes and ears to the street and to the airwaves for an incredible poet named C.P. Mays in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Mays. It is always great to see you, man. Come on, take it away. Hold on, Mays. Can't hear you. Hold on, Mays. Let's get to it.
Can you hear me now?
Got you. Let's do it, Mays.
I was saying something about you owe me $5, and if you don't pay me, I'm gonna come looking for you. But it got muted, so you couldn't hear it. That's all. Don't worry about it. CP Mays, host of Bottoms Up, a global open mic by PGN, second and fourth Sundays, which means it's going down this Sunday. I'll put the information in chat. Shout outs to Finn for the cover of the poem. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful voice. Shout outs to Talisha, who's coming up soon for her push cart nominee. She's not going to brag about it, but I will. And here's a poem. Working out the kinks. These are not birthmarks, darling. Beautiful agony. The wind was blowing, tell me you love me. Across the promise me you'll never forget. These are not birthmarks, darling. Heaven just left hickey marks at the nape of my neck. Tender satin scarf French kiss of fine art flesh. The street lights were eavesdropping on our halos. The streetlights were wondering why. The skyline was wondering why I can't seem to hold eye contact with constellations anymore. I was palm wandering across the universe of untangle me breakdowns. I just want God to give me shortcuts on side streets or better highway directions on how to find my way back to his house again. Maze, breathe. The scent of our swirling rose petal summer skin, candlelit lovers spit all over my sometimes I just read you wrong, and I'm sorry for that. Sweetheart, my so sads are so sorry for my so often. I'm so often so sorry, and I'm so sorry for all of that. I'm sorry for how my hands maneuver around the curvature of your table of contents body, marking my past mistakes, lost, like looking around for the any next chapters. I'll be blessed by thee. Please let me be in the manuscripts of your dot. Finally frisky. Wishing well, dream well, scented skin in and of birthday sexy suit fit, a fragile, firm form, wet, angelic silhouette, sweats of a miracle in your media shower mouth smile. It's working a written all over your face working title entitled, Please Tell Me If I'm Worthy of Another Goddamn Chapter to Be Written in. You thought you could break my heart's language with the novel idea, but I'm fluent and you know me better than that. I know everything. I know everything. I know everything. I know how your self-esteem was makeshift, built from one part. I need confidence in myself. 2 parts blown out lit candle. You can never trust your heart to keep you honest. Out of 1 quart, I'll quit playing with my passion for stupid, because I got 2 pints of throat punch. I am when you can't hassle a castle with no drawbridge. So whether you attempt to cross me or not, prepare for how your legs are gonna walk all over me simply to stay wet. For I'm built from 1 part. Please take me for granted, damn it. 2 parts. I can't remember why my love can give a fuck less if you're starting to love me less, whether it stays or leaves. Out of 1 quart, quit mistaking me for the love from the lost loves, from past lovers whose love was never authentic anyways. Promise me you'll never forget. These are not birthmarks, darling. Heaven accidentally left hickey marks at the nape of my neck. I'm not cheating on you. I'm just skeleton cheap seating on you. Home. Thank you guys and girls.
This dude gets on my nerves when he does that. Damn it. Unmute yourself, give it up for CP, man.
See, I find myself holding my breath when you speak. It's just that intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some pieces that just make you want to just read it 50 times and then hear it 50 ways. Every line is a twist and turn. It just goes deeper and darker and then lighter, and then it just fucking work. Your work is amazing. Your work is amazing.
I had today I had this work I've been doing with the Advocacy Center and this big foundation whose name I'm not going to mention. So they flew people in and drove people in to do like a videotaping and an interview of a poem I wrote, an advocacy poem I wrote.
Stop, Mace. Stop. Coming back at you. Come back.
I got you. I'm back. So as I'm sitting for this, they're setting up lights and camera to do this interview and record this poem I wrote for them. I'm sitting there dumbfounded. Like, poetry, it's more powerful than we fucking think, you know? Like, we pen these poems just to get shit off our chest, but like, poetry is alive and it's thriving and it's well. And believe in yourself more, because I know I'm starting to. Thank y'all.
Yo, there's something so powerful in a poet recognizing their voice and recognizing the power in their voice. Once their reach starts spreading out, there's something interstellar about that. There are some amazing things coming from CP Mays. And if you are not aware of CP Maze, make sure you plug in with Maze. Maze is about to shock you in a lot of different ways. Said, these are not birthmarks, darling. These are not birthmarks, darling. The street lights were eavesdropping on our halos. Did you ever think that there were demons or devils hiding in the lights that you use? I just want God to give me shortcuts. Said candlelight lover spit. Man. Like you're ridiculous with it, folks. For real. My so sads are so sorry. Like, how you just gonna personify your so sads because they're so sorry? Like you get on my nerves with that, bruh. For real. Please tell me if I'm worthy of another chapter written. Man. Like you make poetry upset. Like, ooh, I'm gonna kick that boy. I'm gonna kick that boy. Appreciate you, Maze. For real, man. Appreciate you, folks. Make sure you plug in with CP Maze and you will see, more than likely, you will see what he was talking about today. You will see it very soon. I'm telling you, that cat's going international very quickly. All right. Coming up next. Oh man. Let me tell you something about this next poet. This next poet has inspired me in so many different ways, whether it be from his visuals to how he writes his poetry to his level of commitment. The one thing I can tell you above anything else about this poet is everything that he thinks is all in his mind. I like to call him the Iron Chef of poetry. The one and only Generalissimo is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Generalissimo. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
I'll just pop that in the chat after I finish reading. Speaking of everything I think is on my mind, my first poem is from that book. It's called The Cardiac Surgeon That Lives Inside My Psyche. I wish I could remove my heart into a satin-lined box every now and then. On the hottest summer nights, when it's too hot for a top sheet, when I have several fans strategically pointed at my bed, when I exist in a constant hot flash. On those nights, if I dare fall asleep, my dreams become a certain breed of wart. I sometimes wish I could remove my heart for certain family events, so my brain can lead my reactions to the barrage of gaslighting I will endure and strategically sew my mouth shut for the sake of not making waves. I should never stand up for myself lest I be accused of shooting a semi-automatic military gun when I open my mouth. If I could remove my heart every time I run into someone who had targeted me for abuse in my past, I would place it on a plate, surgically slice a keloid scar from its edge, place it into a baby blue Tiffany & Company engagement ring box, stand atop a chair and declare, "You gave this to me as if my future was wedded to your painfully obvious insensitivities and need to control. But you can't regift it because such scars' owners must have a whole undamaged heart that has never known your warped vision of love. Apologies to Mariah Carey." And I wrote this one this Sunday in Paul Kincaid's recent workshop. Not all masseuses offer happy endings. I remember well when you first reached into my chest and grabbed my heart. Our conversations converted my body into an existential amorphous blob you reached into. Instead of grabbing my heart, you massaged it. You could have looked through me, but instead decided to see me. Your stare might have been a through and through arrow, but instead was an injection of getting to know you. Your actions echoed words that you were capable of nursing a soul. Then came the day when you reached into my chest and squeezed my heart hard. I thought you were there to give it a massage. Instead, you used your massage expertise to squeeze it to the point of almost bursting bursting, then squoze it to the point of almost bursting, then squoze it to the point of almost bursting, then squoze it to the point of almost bursting till I passed out. When I came to, you were there. You asked me what I remembered. I thought you had come to massage my heart, but arrived too late. History would repeat itself too many times. Since our history had no witnesses, I accepted your version of history with you as my heroic resuscitator. Then came a day when I installed a nanny cam for a reason unrelated to you. Then came a day when I bore witness to you at your desk with your fountain pen. I watched you dip the pen into ink it drank in a way I had never seen a pen drink ink. I enlarged screenshots of the ink, which had a label that read my name, then apostrophe S, then soul juice. I learned about how one person can squeeze another person's heart until it almost bursts, and though no blood exits, the squeezer can extract several drops of the squeezee's soul for the sole purpose of writing believable fiction. Thank you.
He said with the sole goal of writing believable fiction. Unmute yourself, give it up for Generalissimo.
All right, Generalissimo.
Yeah, Brian, fantastic work.
Powerful work, powerful subject.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go even deeper on that one there. The harm of innocence is big, somewhere deep on the side.
Believable fiction. Is that not what they call summer blockbusters? You know, is that not what Hollywood is built upon? Is believable fiction? Generalissimo, I have appreciated your work since my first introduction to it, which was you reading it. And now, years later, you know, I can see that you are constantly trying to improve on your own work. Shout out Art Define, Storm Gods in the building. Shout out Paul Conqueso for hosting an incredible writing workshop, right? And our community continues to come and show support for our community in so many different ways, right? In the first poem, Generalissimo, you know, you mentioned when it's hot. Oh my gosh. You know, partially growing up in the South, man, sometimes your skin is too hot. He said when the top sheets are too hot. Listen, there are times when you got fans and ACs blowing and that sheet, that little flimsy sheet, too much. It's too much. You want to throw that against the wall. It's just too much. Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Real. Scar owners must have a whole undamaged heart. I don't know who has one of those this time, this generation. I don't know who has an undamaged heart, right? I just love the connotation of that, right? Because we all have scars, right? We all have scars, but they only make us, I guess, better equipped to write poems about people with damaged hearts. It's something about that. I mean, I'm not trying to get sentimental on y'all, for real, right? But I'm a poet, damn it. You know what I mean? It's stuff like this. You know what I mean? It's stuff like this that we really, really write about. You know what I mean? Well, because it is part of our damaged heart. Really, it really is part of our damaged heart that allows us to dig into our creativity the way it does and feel the things that we do for so many people, right? Like, I can't remember the last time I wrote a poem for myself. Like, do you know how many people I write my poems for? Do you know how many ancestors, do you know how many generations I write my poems for? Like, none of my poems are for me. None of them. No, I mean, absolutely zero. And when you approach it that way, man, you get such phenomenal poetry. And every time I hear your work, Generalissimo, it seems like it's just tap dancing timelines, like so many incredible things that you do. Really. Thank you. Thank you, Generalissimo, for all the things that you do, for all the spice and creativity that you bring and you have brought to our community for so long. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, we have a new voice in the building. Listen, I mean, I'm familiar, but not familiar. Shout out Keeper of Concrete. Shout out Concrete Generation. But what I do know of this poet is they are one of the new push cart nominees. And let me tell you, you don't get to this level if you're fucking around in any way. I do know that this is your first time rocking with us. So please, without giving us your address, tell us where in the world you are rocking from.
Hi, yes, so I am Talisha J, and I am in Marietta, Georgia.
Shout out Georgia, GA in the building. Listen, Talisha, thank you for coming through. Thank you for listening. And I was privy to the conversation that you had with the Keeper of Concrete recently, showing you love for the pushcart nomination. Listen, there's something so very serious about that. Thank you for taking the time to rock with us on Monday. You have stumbled upon the greatest community in the world. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Again, welcome. It is great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, I am on all social media stuff as Talisha J Poetry. And I will drop my bio site link, and it has like Instagram and my website and a bunch of stuff. I also have a calendar on there that has upcoming online events, which I just found out about this space, and I was like, how did I not know about it? What rock am I living under? So shout out to Maze for putting me on. And so yeah, I'm really excited to be here. And yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm gonna read a poem that I wrote in a workshop very recently. Yeah, it's called ABC Darien in the Middle of a Genocide. After they bombed the hospitals and bombed mosques and bombed schools and the people by the thousands, I should have known there is no conscience in the gnarled body of greedy governments. There is only deals of death and dust in the name of land and oil. Gray coats wrapped around everything, the living room, the cars, the faces of the wide-eyed children shaking in shock. Grandfathers raised the limp bodies of perforated progeny to kiss their eyelids goodbye. Mothers gently gather shrouded babies in their arms, sobbing into their last embrace. It is heartbreaking to witness all this blood and bone exposed, but I cannot turn away. It goes against my rights to gaze through clear oppression, to clench my jaw and grind the genocide down into the powder of a secret. It is my job and yours to keep the world watching, the anti-colonization of their attention when they look every which way, but into the eye of this threaded needle of hatred. Martyrs deserve more than they will get to experience. No new milestones added to their journey. No one can resuscitate their missiled first. We must make their lives more than a one-off casualty of war crime after war crime. For this non-war, we must push to bring them justice, to avoid their lives being snatched in vain when it all seems dystopian. Question everything you've ever learned about Palestine. Question everything you've learned about resistance and who has the right to. Shame on those who have been silent and have silenced during this mass killing. Shame on those who try to sour solidarity. They will tell us we are wrong, say we are supporting terrorists. They will die on the hill of the underground tunnels, and Hamas was there, and that's why they indiscriminately vacated life from the living with shrapnel and rubble. They tried to propaganda gaslight us while we watch the wreckage in real time on TikTok and Instagram. X marks the spot for the snipers, and we see a 9-year-old boy bulleted into the ground. Youth recording youth's end too soon. We become historians and archivists as life after life is zeroed out in genocide math, but we don't just watch silenced, and that scares them. Thank you.
Ah, that's not even right. That's not even okay. It's not. Unmute yourself, give it up for Talisha.
Woo! Talisha, you stepped in the right place at the right time to say the right thing,
Good.
you know?
Wow.
And it ain't gonna get easier, so don't lighten up. You know, it's the love is crossed. Hate and fear require to be hated and feared in return in order to exist. And if I died tomorrow, out of all the words I've ever said, I hope those ring the longest. So hopefully that will solve something on this ugly world. But yeah, keep on keeping on. And just like a lot of people who touch on that subject, I don't care if I was a baby born in China. I'm not Chinese. I'm a baby. And that's a Russian baby as a baby. And it's that human equation that gets lost in our identity when we tackle what you tackled that gets lost. And don't lose that. And love your work. And thank you for being here and welcome. And now he's going to tell you fucked up.
Absolutely damn right, CC. This is what I love about our community. Damn it. He's absolutely right, Talisha. I am going to tell you, damn it, that you just fucked up because you need to be here every Monday. For real. You know why? Because you have just been welcomed into the greatest community in the world. What that means is that we have heard you, seen you, and recognized the level of skill that you have brought to this thing that we call poetry. We have recognized that you are a conduit through which creativity speaks. And clearly, it's because I'm connected. I know that you're a pushcart nominee. But let me tell you, you don't even get in that vicinity, folks, unless you're about that life. And here's another poet that's about that life. Thank you, Talisha, for coming through and sharing your phenomenal poetry with us. Again, shout out to Keeper of Concrete. Shout out Concrete Generation. Shout out the phenomenal poets in the Carolinas who continue to hold it down in all their aspects. Talisha said she is in the ATL, shawty. You better believe Georgia is coming. Listen. Georgia's been putting it down for a little while now. If you don't know about Georgia, you better put in your work, right? And listen, one of my greatest inspirations is straight from the ATL, okay? OUTKAST. If you don't know, learn about it, all right? Appreciate you for all that you do. Again, make sure you are plugging your information in the chat so all the community can plug in with you and remind you on Sunday night, hey, make sure you signing up to come through on Monday night. Appreciate you. Listen, we have gotten down to our final 6 poets of the evening. Ooh, and do we have a surprise for the ending? Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this to come back. I truly have. I got the message. It's coming down. It's going down this evening. It's going down. Shout out a couple folks before we get going. A Daryl Davis was on the list, but I do not see them in the building. But again, shout out to them. Frog Corpse, man. Frog is one of the most phenomenal poets on planet Earth. If you don't know Frog Corpse, make sure you are plugging in with Frog. Appreciate you, Frog. The Whisper Poet, man. Whisper Poet. Listen, thank you for coming through. Whisper Poet also hosts their own show on Instagram Live. Make sure you are plugging in with both of these incredibly phenomenal poets. Coming up next, as I mentioned, y'all, final six. This poet, I guarantee you, did not come here to tap dance. I had the luxury of rocking with this poet and the planet that rotates around them. Shout out Oshun Oyen. Listen, this phenomenal poet is going to blow your mind in a way that reminds you that we are still breathing the same air of the original poets. The originals, the lost ones, and the active ones. The one and only Baba Ngoma is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Baba. It is always great to see you and share space with you. Please, take it away.
Hey. It's good to see all of y'all. Good to hear all of y'all, too. So look here, I'm going to do the two poems, and the first poem actually is going to introduce the second poem. All right? The first poem is called, this is from my book, I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. And this is called Searching for Ogun. It's an autobiographical war story at home and abroad. I met Ogun between the pages of a book near a rice paddy outside of Pleiku, hanging out with Boukman, Macandal, Dessalines, and Celestine, explaining how they kicked Napoleon's ass at Port-au-Prince. I figured there was something to it, so I wrote Ogun Pharrell Be With Me on the band to my steel pot helmet. The Cambodian red was good, and the opium put me in another place and kept my head on straight. The crystal meth was great for mountain climbing, especially blazing trails through the central highlands where no man walked before. My man Rusty from B-More rocked an M79 like it was on automatic. His specialty was duck, dive, roll, and fire. He could put a grenade on a gnat's ass half a mile away. The old man from Houston had a thing for AK-47s, said the M16s weren't worth shit, but you could pull an AK out of the mud and still fire it. I was the fucking new guy. Me and machine guns were lovers. My side man was Jim from Gulfport, Mississippi, a big dude. He would lug 400 or 500 rounds of ammo at a time. Machine gunners need to have a death wish. A tracer every fifth round was a guarantee. You needed to be like Muhammad Ali, stick and move, stick and move. I burned out a barrel in the mountains near Cambodia. It was the night Shorty's legs got blown off. We really missed him and his singing sitting on the dock of the bay. When we hung out in bunkers during monsoon, drinking strawberry wine and puff passing to Otis Redding and Sam Cooke. Flea survived 10 rounds, got patched up and came back to the field, wringing wet in an overcoat. He only weighed about 100 pounds. He was a crazy white boy who had been a screaming eagle. I figured only fools jump out of perfectly good airplanes. He re-upped for another tour. I figured he just drank too much rot gut Jack Daniels and Santori. By then I was a short timer, just trying to survive to catch that last ride on the Freedom Bird back home. Hanging heavy with the brothers, we all thought things back in the world would be different. Brothers stuck together like glue in Nam. We really had no business fucking with the mighty Viet Cong, and we all thought there'd be some real black unity when we returned. But shit was still fucked up, and heroin was taking over the hood. Even doctors and lawyers' kids were strung out. Everybody wanted to be Superfly. I wasn't into needles, so I let it all pass by since I pledged to the Most High to be a warrior for my people. I came home looking for Black Panthers. I figured with my experience, my skills would be needed. They were mostly in exile, though, getting busted or killed. I was still rolling with Ogun, though I didn't know where to find him. I felt I was protected. Ended up looking for him in Newark. Found Baraka and Kawaida. The poetry was good, but I figured just 7 principles wasn't cutting it. Spent a month or 2 in Shanghai, Beijing, and Nanjing. Checked out Chairman Mao, but we needed a black thing. Realized we couldn't make a revolution like he did. Our march to freedom would be harder and long. Spent over a decade doing serious business, singing contemporary freedom songs, traveling across the USA, Europe, and Africa too, trying to figure out what my people need to do. sang for 1 million people in Central Park for nuclear disarmament, sang for workers' rallies in Madison Square Garden, sang for rallies at Sydenham, but they closed it down. They didn't give a damn. So I figured to continue my search. Figured I wouldn't find Ogun in church. So I checked out 1,000 poetry spots from New York to Portland to Connecticut, followed drum circles from town to town, trying to see if the gods of Africa could be found. Ran a New Age fair and got a lot of readings from readers who told me I should be reading them. Finally found a system that connected the door, a sister that connected the door, led me to the mat of the Babalawo, who told me that for everything there was a time and a reason. I've been searching for Ogun, but Obatala found me. Seemed like this was the place, the time, and this reason. The Odu shared to me destiny's reason. This path is about much more than sacrifice and blood. It's ultimately about Oludumare's love. By Obatala, I had been chosen. Now the second poem. A poet's prayer to Obatala. Epa Obatala, king of creation, he who is owner of the white cloth, owner of thoughts and dreams, Lord of earth, I come to you in this time and place. I give homage for your blessings, your guidance, and your protection. The divination stated that it is my destiny to channel your message. Wrap me in your white cloth, protect me from my enemies, give me wisdom, calmness, and understanding. Use my body, my mind, and my spirit to speak peace and harmony into existence. In these days of turmoil and confusion, give me patience. Anoint me with clarity as pure as your white cloth to save humans from destruction. O chief of the sacred grove, owner of Ori, give me strength to light the darkness. He who creates at will, I bring to you snail and pounded yam, shea butter and a white hen. I ask Eshu to open the way. I ask Oya, let peace and justice come on the wind. I sing my song for you, Mofori Ballet. I place my head to the ground.
And that is called reverence. That is called appreciation. Unmute yourself, give it up for him. Go on.
Baba.
Yeah. Fantastic work. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
You know, and I know a lot of you may not know. Shout out the ancestors, man. Shout out the OGs. Baba has a poem that talks about the OGs. He says in one of his poems, he said, he became Amiri. I became Ngoma. Like, when you are a part of that turn, there's really not much that people can tell you. However, I appreciate you so much for staying dedicated as long as you have, because I have learned so much from you. I have learned so much from you in the energy that you bring, in the passion that you continue to exhibit in what you do. Thank you for being dedicated. Really. Like, for all the things that you do, right? He said, me and machine guns were lovers. What? What? Me and machine guns were lovers? Come on, man. But machine gunners had a death wish. Right? Singing that Otis Redding and Sam Cooke. He said them Screaming Eagles, right? Shout out to 101, right? Shout out to 101, man. Them Screaming Eagles, they're something different, right? Hanging heavy with the brothers, of course. Shout out to Black Hole Clique, man. The brothers always roll thick. You know what I mean? Vietnam was no different. Shout out my pops who fought in the Marine Corps in Vietnam. Shout out all the Marines who fought and died and lost their lives and came home shell-shocked, who came home ready to continue to fight the Double B campaign that the Brothers of the War forward to just try to create and change. You know, everybody wanted to be Superfly at one point in time, absolutely. But we all know that's not the real, right? Figured I wouldn't find Ogun in church. No, you're not. You're gonna find them in here. Thank you. You know what? Just everything that you do is always on point, Baba. So thank you. Give homage to your blessings in the second poem, right? Speak peace and harmony into existence. I will say that again. Speak peace and harmony into your existence. That's the only way it's going to survive. Appreciate you, Baba. Truly. All right. We have reached the final 5 poets of the evening. So let's get to it. Coming up next, I am thankful to see this poet has come back to join us. This poet has come through and has shared a piece of their life with us. And listen, this is not easy, folks. We've been rocking for a few years now, but the folks who are finding their way to us is not as simple as we may make it look. However, we do this. Welcome back, Michelle. Listen, it is great to see you. We are looking forward to every bit of incredible artistry that you are going to share with us this evening. Please take it away. Great to see you.
Thank you. The fluttered hearts of us. The fluttered hearts of us. I'm listening. You turn your head my way. Your depth made me cry. Trust. I trust. I hear us. The fluttered hearts of us say maybe, 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 yes. Say maybe, 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 yes. Say please see me, don't. Please see me, don't. Trust. I trust. I hear us. The fluttered hearts of us, part 2, a poem. The fluttered hearts of us gather all the paints, collage, and other supplies, then forget to look to spirit for inspiration. Our cheeks flush, thinking, just for a moment, it's all about me. Close your eyes. Can you feel me breathing you? Our fluttered beats hearting together. I'm inviting wisdom to guide me closer to you. Divine has no need, so I can pray, but I must be the one to create ways for us to dance through the fields of wildflowers, across the rivers of doubt, into more authentic expressions of harmonious rhythmic connection. It's really up to me, us, to A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z, you see, because there is no plan B. There's only plan all. You and me and us. I need you. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I love us, and I'm only sometimes afraid. The clarity of our connection brings me, takes me, delivers me more, even when it's cloudy or the static of old radio stations play, convincing me that it's all I can hear, as if I can't just reach out and tickle the dial a bit to clearly listen to the ways the bass, piano, sax, drum, and voice can change the fucking world. When we get it just right, it's light. 299,792,458 meters per second. Can you see how vast the brightness is in the places we actually meet? Face, to eyes, to skin, to breath, to souls. In time, beyond time, space, and in space that's spaceless, actually full, where words are not just words, and magic is not the stuff for imagination, and dreams mean that we never have to go to sleep again. Once we admit that we can't live without each other, then we truly can't live without each other, and maybe we won't even want to, because at the end of the day, year, life, The fluttered hearts of us must beat like the rhythm of rain in the cadence of waves with the sound rest, sound rest, sound rest, sound of wholeness. The fluttered hearts of us, I'm listening. Trust, trust, I hear us.
Now that is what you call a performance. Unmute yourself, give it up for Michelle.
Love it, love it,
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, tremendous work. Wow.
I got so many bad thoughts. It's wonderful. That's amazing. That's good work. That's really good work. It's really good work.
I love it. I love it.
I'm going to say it. Can I say something wrong?
Hold on. Wait a couple minutes. Wait a couple minutes. He said, can I say something wrong? Listen, man. Oh, listen. Now you got blood rushing and flushing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hold on to that thought, CC, for real. Do like the whole hold it on your finger, right, rubber band it. Like hold on to that. For real. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Miss Lovett. I love it. Love it. The fluttered hearts of us. You have made the collective of our hearts flutter this evening. You in the beginning of what you said, like I feel like you were already a part of what we have been building all this time. You said, I hear us, right? Because the poem is called The Fluttered Hearts of Us, right? You said, I hear us. Please see me. Please see me. Like I hear so many of our community members when we first started saying exactly that. Please see me. Please hear me, right? Please. But then you said, I hear us, right? So at the same time that you're saying, hey, please hear me, saying I can hear our collective voice as well, right? And then the second poem, harmonious rhythmic connections, right? Can you feel me? Breathing, like I love us. It is our charge to change the fucking world. Magic is not the stuff of imagination. It's called poetry, in my opinion, right? Poets are magicians. Poets are true musicians in this world. I know that magic is only science that we have yet to discover or understand, but poets are magicians. And anyone who doesn't believe me, I implore you to, holler at me. We can debate it. You probably won't win. We can debate it, for real. Poets are magicians of the highest order. Trust. Appreciate you, Michelle. Make sure you are continuing to come and rock with us. Thank you for plugging your information in the chat. Poets, family, make sure you are plugging in with Michelle and let her know that she is supposed to be here every Monday. Appreciate you. All right, final four poets. This next poet always finds himself at the end of the night, right? Sometimes he finds himself at the closer spot, but he is always on point at the back of the line. I'm telling you, probably one of the most funkiest cabooses I know, the one and only Prince of Peas in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Prince of P. Always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
I'll be reading one poem tonight. Untitled poem right now. Locked ebony eyes with the most powerful being on earth. Our potent presence takes residence in the air of our spaces, showing off our big egos, stroking it with fervent desire. Fierce feminine energy fills my space, flooding me in her majestic air. Female energy enlivens my soul, widens my heart, feeling every sensation in my body. I had a more set of those red, rosy cheeks, just enough for me to paint her walls and deck the halls of her soul. She walks with gusto, want to do more than bust, because temporary fixes aren't principally. I see her body movements, her hand in motion, creating splashing waterfalls. I want to ride the wave of her energy. The inner me wants to earmark and trademark her bountiful beauty in my Bezanine Aquarius mind. But you see, I love the agency over my autonomy. Still, I desire the warmth of connection. Would love to make her mind, body, and soul, speaking love languages foreign to her, as if she never reached this plateau before. Her heart was in a state of poverty. Thank you. In the poem.
Yeah, Prince of P. Let me tell you, you start speaking them love languages, you going somewhere else. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Prince of P.
All right, Prince of P.
Yeah.
Keep opening
Awesome.
yourself on the inside out, man. You're doing good work. Keep it up.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Ooh. Is that not so right, CC? Is that not so on point? He said, doing the work, right? And Prince of P continues to exhibit that, exonerate that, just doing the work, right? Even in his poem, he said, you know what I mean? We so used to showing off our big egos, right? That we don't focus on the key components of why we do what we do, right? Just that energy, man, that energy. He mentioned this Aquarius mind. I got 2 Aquarius in my life, man. Shout out my daughters, for real. Shout out my baby who is about to have my first grandchild. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Right? Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. And shout out my boo-boo, my youngest daughter, both Aquarius. It's so much. So I'm familiar with the Aquarius mind. For real, it's beautiful. It really is. Speaking love languages foreign to her. And that's what got me, Prince of P. When you know about the love languages, there are no more excuses. Especially when you know yours and you learn your partner's love language. No more excuses. Thank you, Prince of P, for staying dedicated to what you do, right? I only hope that we can help to build on your confidence and your wordplay. You're incredible, sir. Thank you for being dedicated to what you do. All right, final 3 poets of the evening. Coming up next. Listen. This is just, listen, I don't know how they want to do this, right? But this is like a mega powers a tag team, right? And we see they have, you know what I mean? They're on the same ticket, you know what I mean? And it's only the mega powers that were able to do this, right? It was the Macho Man. And I'm not going to call her that, but a phenomenon nonetheless. This next poet continues to come through and tears it up every time they come through, whether it be 100% personal, whether it be their storytelling. I'm telling you, this poet never ceases to amaze. The one and only Kid Tay is in the building. listen.
Well, Kate is in the building, but she is sleeping. Yo, this is Dre, everybody. Just letting y'all know that Kate won't be able to perform tonight. She's had a long day. With that said, I could bust out one more poem for y'all if you like.
Come on, Dre. Come
Okay.
on, Dre. Listen,
All
listen,
right.
hold on. Before you even do that, let me tell you how beautiful that is, right? Because the world wasn't sure of what was happening, right? But now we are absolutely sure, right? When you have a king protecting his queen, you get a double dose of the king. Oh, yeah. Come on, Dre. Take it away.
All right. So I got another new poem for y'all. Any Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fans out there? Well, maybe if there are any, I got a poem for y'all that might kick you in the feels. Kimberly to Tommy 1 year later. November 19th. I've been dreading this day just as I have been dreading every day, but today it's different. I haven't erased the last voicemail you left, your goodbye call, as you called it, the panic quaking my nerves, trying to call you back, leaving voicemail after voicemail until your inbox was full. I even tried using the communicator, not remembering that it doesn't work anymore, not remembering that command center has been defunct for nearly 3 decades. My prayers were left unanswered, just like all my voicemails. It's been 1 year later, and the wound hasn't begun to heal yet. My heart bleeds for you daily in the form of a flood of tears, spearing down my face towards the ground. You were the counterweights of all the negativity in my life. Once you were gone, the seesaw of my psyche slammed hard enough on one end that it broke. I live up in Anchorage now. I cannot stand living in Angel Grove anymore. Seeing the color green is becoming a trigger response, like how a bull sees red, but replacing anger with an abysmal feeling of longing to hold your hand one more time. However, it is not any way easier because the whiteness of the landscape creates dreamlike silhouettes of us embracing in my mind. It just seems that everywhere I go, the heartache latches onto me like an undetachable parasite whose insatiable appetite has hollowed out its guest. To say that I miss you is a horrific understatement. To say that I don't feel somewhat guilty is a bold-faced lie in the face of truth. I wish I could have done more to keep you here. I would hope that in time, with more work and therapy, I can begin to suture up this wound myself, stitch by stitch, day by day. I wish Zordon had the ability to revive you. Until our spirits embrace again, I will lockstep you eternally in my mind, heart, and soul. Until then, Kimberly. Thank y'all.
And then there is something so powerful about bringing your childhood back in the form of poetry. Unmute yourself, give it up for Dre Reyes.
Yeah.
Go Power Rangers.
Something about that, man. It really is. Like,
Yay.
I am one that loves to bring what we knew into what we know. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it because it allows us for different perspectives, you know? I wish Zordon had the ability to revive you. My prayers were left unanswered. Like, man, that is a level of motivation that no one could prepare for. So thank you, Dre. Thank you for standing in and being ready. Right, that is such a a mark of a great poet, right? It's always ready to rock, you know what I mean? Always ready to support, always ready to hold it down. Appreciate you, Dre. Shout out Kate. Hopefully all is well. Truly. For real. Tag team champions. Appreciate you, man. For real. All right. Final two poets of the evening. Coming up next, this incredible poet, let me tell y'all, I even got a call from my mom. Shout out, moms. Love you. Got a call from my moms about this next poet. My mom was like, yo, I saw this poet get down on your show, and I want to find out who they are. I want to know who they are because, listen, they motivated me. And I love that, right? Because what you do is so incredible. Again, and I've told you before, right? You're tap dancing on timelines. You are traversing timelines in the most beautiful of ways and still inspiring people on every end of said timeline. The one and only Tracy Mom Core is in the building. Please let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
It's great to be here, most definitely. And I don't know, online, if you just type to Mom Tracy Monker into Google, you know, something will come up. But my mouth is dehydrated. But the poem I chose, it's a little different. Looking at the news on my phone, skimming the different articles, I came across something that said that Donald Trump at one of his campaign rallies said that he would, if God and Jesus came down, he would win the California election. Those weren't his exact words, but that's basically what he meant. So this is a personal poem, and it's a poem about my relationship with God and Jesus. And it's called My Thanksgiving Poem. I'm thankful for my belief in an almighty God and his precious son, Jesus, my colored Jesus, my Black Jesus, my brown Jesus, a supreme being, a supernatural power that has protected and taken me through the darkest of hours and brings to my remembrance how through perseverance and how developing an attitude of gratitude has enabled me to weather the storms of life, fighting the good fight of faith while living in the reality of generational genocide, ignorance, and waves of hate and anger that demean so many human beings. I'm thankful for my belief in an almighty God and his son Jesus, my colored Jesus, my Black Jesus, my brown Jesus, a supreme being, a supernatural power filled with grace, mercy, and a mystical love from high above that allows me to thank you, God, for life. Thank you, God, for creation. Thank you, God, for the sun, the moon, and the stars shining from afar, shrouding earth in its majestic beauty. The mountains, the oceans, the valleys, the rivers flowing through the land, watering roots of peace and hope that lie embedded in despair and dope. I'm thankful for my belief in an almighty God and his son Jesus, my colored Jesus, my Black Jesus, my brown Jesus, a supreme being, a supernatural power, that source of agape love, an unconditional love, God's forgiveness, moving me beyond the reality of self, to clean up my heart of all jealousy, malice, envy, replacing it instead with empathy and concern, to care for others as if they were my sister or brother, to pray that on this road called life, that my words would offer comfort and not cause strife, that my behavior be just and display acts of kindness, letting God's love shine in a world of darkness. I'm thankful for my belief in an almighty God and his son Jesus, my colored Jesus, my black Jesus, my brown Jesus, a supreme being, a supernatural power that allows me to say thank you, God, for a reasonable portion of health and strength. Health is wealth in a world that trying to extricate itself from the Omicron cobwebs, spun all around the globe, weaving in and out, connecting mankind to a viral enemy no one could see, yet formidable and deadly. But God, thank you, God. I'm thankful for my belief in an almighty God and his son, Jesus, my colored Jesus, my black Jesus, my brown Jesus, a supreme being, a supernatural power, praying that God will do all he can to end man's inner rage and hate before it's too late, praying that the need to go to war will be no more, and that God's peace that surpasses all understanding will rain drops of love, replenishing the earth, encouraging a rebirth of new hearts filled with appreciation, and that empathy will take root in the soul of life. Compassion and insight will now flow through the veins of existence. The light of life will shine bright into the dark crevices of the earth, bringing forth goodness, reconciliation, and restoration. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my belief in an almighty God and his son, Jesus. My colored Jesus, my black Jesus, my brown Jesus, a supreme being, a supernatural power. And that's what God means to me. I don't know what he means to Trump, that he could come down and win him an election. But no, I just wanted to share that with you.
You know, it is so important that we hear from people in their very true voice. Thank you for that. Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Tamam Tracy Moncool.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back.
Trump.
First of all, and second of all, and third of all, shout out to your husband, an incredible jazz musician. May he rest in peace. Just for the dedication to being such a revolutionary, right? And I say shout out to the jazz musicians because the jazz musicians made such a difference without saying a word, right? They let their music notes speak their truth for them. And we are still learning from them. But then there is something about those who choose to put words in place the way that you did. You said it was with God and Jesus was your Thanksgiving poem, right? My colored Jesus, my black Jesus, my brown Jesus. Something about that, right? It's something about seeing people for who you are and seeing how you can become a better version of yourself, developing an attitude of gratitude, right? Generational genocide, it happens, right? Master race is master plan, that whole thing. A source of agape love, I think that one of our charges is to try to be that source of agape love, right? Words that offer comfort and not cause strife. I think that's why we are blessed with the power of words, so we can do that, right? That we can conjure and we can scribe words that offer comfort, not just strife, right? We are the peacemakers, right? Empathy will take root in the soul of life. Only if we stay committed to what we do to ensure that they don't get lost in the fashionable realm of hate everyone, right? It's all about me, singular ideal. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for staying dedicated to what you do and keeping the spirit of not only poetry, but the angst, if you will, of jazz music flowing in our generation. Thank you. All right. We have reached the closer of the evening, and this, our resident micro triptych travel agent, has decided on something different this evening. And let me tell you, I am looking forward to this. This next poet, this next creative does some amazing things with their work. And I implore you to pay close attention, because I believe this is a first for Monday night, but hopefully not the last. The one and only Nemo Zoom in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Nemo. It is always great to see you. Come on, man. Close us out this evening.
All right, thank you, Elemental. It's hard. I'm gonna play the piano tonight rather than spit, but it's hard not to add my voice. What a wonderful night. You can find me at nemosumwords.com, where you can download my book for free and find all my social media links. Real quick, Beethoven never said nor heard in his lifetime Moonlight Sonata. It was after his passing, a critic wrote that this piano piece was the perfect piece to listen to while watching the moonlight on a lake. And it stuck, so it became the Moonlight Sonata. That's how we know it now. But the title that Beethoven gave it was Sonata in the Form of an Improvisation. So, interesting fact. I'm going to do part one, or at least I'm going to do, as well as I can, part one of the Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. Quick sound check. How's that? Yeah, I'm kind of lost. I'll come back and finish it another time. Sorry about that.
No need to apologize at all, Nemo. Let me tell you, you have set it all the way off this evening. Unmute yourself, give it up for Nemo. Ooh.
Yeah, Nemo. Thank you.
That was lovely.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Listen,
happens.
there is no need to apologize at that spot right there, Nemo, and I'll tell you why. I don't know how many other folks. I'm sure there are many folks around the world. But you're the only member of our community that can do what you just did, sir. And let me tell you how much I appreciate you for it. We are masters of words around these parts. But you brought in a level of music that inspires incredible thinkers like us. There's a level of dedication that goes into what you do, that goes into what we just heard. That, as I mentioned earlier, traverses timelines. Amazing, amazing, Nemo. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that beautiful poetry with us. Listen, y'all. Monday nights are such a corner of the world. Listen, I know I'm biased. I get to host y'all. I've been rocking with y'all for some years, but y'all really are the greatest community in the world. This is truly the greatest collection of creatives that I've ever been around in my life. Listen, we reached the end of the night, y'all, right? For those of you who are in the know, I am going to keep the cipher going, right? I'm in the live stream here in a few seconds, and I will keep the cipher open so we can hang out for a few minutes so we can, converse about all the things that we have been doing as poets and as a community. Listen, Monday nights is just such a beautiful space. Make sure you are plugging in with the cafe. Listen, neweurekan.org. Make sure you are plugging in. Get yourself some merch. Contribute to the cafe. The brick and mortar is on a hiatus, but there are so many satellite spaces showing up. Make sure you are plugging in. Keep in with the Monday night online open mic. Again, Thursday night will be canceled this evening, but we will have so many things coming up for you. Make sure you are plugging in. Again, for the folks who want to hang out, make sure you are hanging out for a couple of minutes. Until we meet again, folks, it has truly been a pleasure. We're going to end the night like this. Until we meet again, may this energy we conjured this evening supercharge the rest of your week. Take this power, inspire others, energize creativity as we all hope to do through the spirit of Miguel Agarin. Your voice is appreciated, necessary, and always valuable in this space. Thank you for sharing it with us. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with you. Until next week, y'all. Peace and blessings.